Good evening. The Who's today in Sydney were on at Randwick. We had a heavy 8, if not worse, and the rail was 10 metres out. I suppose close to the rails, especially well, I suppose on the turn and in the straight was inferior. Although in the mile race we had Letchworth lead all the way and stay close to the rails in the straight and hang on and win by a half a length. And of course, in one of the other distance races, what race was it? The second race, the 2,000 metre race, Minkai switched back to the inside. It got home, but they're the distance races, a mile or further. In these sprints, it was quite evident the best part of the track was to come down the outside. I never mentioned it when after Warwick Farm on Saturday, like I did the previous week. I spoke to a few people about it since, and they agreed with me. It's a fair income joke. On Saturdays, like it was horse racing in Australia, Saturday is the main day, and like it is all around the world. And of course, this filthy TAB, who has got control of racing, as we all know, and is the cancer of racing, and just keeps on making it worse and worse every year since they started that spot of cancer in Pitt Street. This Saturday just gone, again, we had the meeting at Warwick Farm, and a meeting at Newcastle. It didn't matter where else you lived in New South Wales. You know, we know how many race courses there are, all the way up the coast, inland, all the way down the south coast, over the mountains, spread out. The bookies and punters haven't got a meeting to go to. You've got to go, you know, who'd have a bet with a filthy TAB anyway? They head to they still got, I suppose, a few mugs betting with them. It's an absolute joke. The last Sunday, well, that was last Saturday, as I say, they only, besides Newcastle and Warwick Farm, no other meetings anywhere in. It was a religion, in New South Wales. Everyone in the country and forgetting about the city, the races are on a Saturday. They haven't got a meeting to go to. Used to have a stack of bookies going there, a stack of punters. Everybody had a quid in their kick. If this filthy TAB's got everyone, all these punters stone motherless broke, and they wanted to just bet on the TAB during the week. We had last Sunday Grafton on, well, that's the end of their carnival. I suppose you can excuse that. And Mudgee was on Sunday. Then on Monday you had Maruya on Monday. Attendance Maruya Monday. 3 people. Scone, one person through the gate. It was 1 person at Scone. Tuesday, Port Macquarie and Wagga. Total attendance under 10. The both meetings. And then, of course, this Friday we've got Ballina on. There'll be 3 people at Ballina, and then down at Canberra on the Acton track, the dirt track, where how do you follow the form on it? One day you can't get past the leaders. Another day the leaders can't get past themselves. It's down the outside. It's a joke. How many people will be at Canberra this Friday? There'll be 4 people there, and of course on Sunday. This Saturday coming, we've got Rosehill and Kembla, and the entire state of New South Wales. There's only one other meeting you can get to. That's Gundagai. Gundagai will be on Saturday. Well, you'll get a few people roll up. You'll get a lot of people roll up to Gundagai this Saturday from around the area. You'll get quite a few bookies there, and punters will look forward to getting there and be able to bet on Sydney, Melbourne, and whatever, and seeing the fluctuations. Oh no! It was even the clergy used to go to the races of a Saturday and go to church on Sunday. Not now. There's not a meeting anywhere. The filthy TAB has got all these meetings during the week, when they should be on Saturdays, spread right out through the entire state, where people can go horse racing of a Saturday. No, they've got them on like they've turned the racetracks into absolute ghost town morgues where there's no atmosphere. No atmosphere. It's like walking into a filthy TAB. You ever seen them with buttons going off and there's silence, and it's an absolute joke. Anyway, today at Randwick, we had a bit of a roll up today at Randwick. Wasn't a bad little meeting for a midweek meeting. I suppose a few people turned up before they went out there. Went out to the going out to the State of Origin match tonight, and as I say, there were quite a few people there. Not like it used to be before this filthy TAB came into play, spread the cancer throughout racing. Of a Wednesday we used to get, it would have been a normal Wednesday meeting going back before the filthy tab came into play. We would have had 8,000 there on the Wednesday, and a stack of punters everywhere and bookies everywhere, and everybody having a chance to get a quid. Now, they won't put their hand up. The race clubs should just rip up the contract and see what they've got to do. What would they do? Anyway, the first race today, it was skinny, of course. Here we are. Yeah, I just can't understand it. I keep on saying, why would you have a bet? Why would you have a bet with the corporates and so forth when you get to the races, or betting fixed odds with a tab? Little alone have a bet on the win of the place. 100% was on the screen in the first race, and it was 5 less in the marketplace. We only gave about 95, and this was a big result for the captains. By the same token, winning the race was Stocky, ridden by horseman Huey Bowman, and it was quite evident in the first race. He sat back past midfield. It was $16 or $17, a 16 to 1 chance out to $26 Stocky. A good result for the captains, as I say. And it sat midfield and was able to ease off heels. And when it got to the outside, it was able to, I suppose, get into a bit of better ground, and that might have got it home. The second horse hung out, having its first start, number 5, and when it hung out, it pushed the winner a little bit wider. If it would have been able to get past it, Stocky, it most probably would have won on protest. And as I say, it was a good result for the captains, but the opening favourite in this race didn't start favourite. I think Diana returned at $4. I'm talking about Aussies love sport, $2.60 out to $4.60, unlayable. There wasn't a case for it anywhere in the world. The winner, as I say, $17 out to 26. Who was backed in this race? How is it going to win? Oh, so adorable. It's only a pit pony, and it was back from, it opened up $5.50, got out to $6.50, and it started $4 favourite. Showed plenty of speed to be up near the front. It weakened out and ran second last, beaten 6 lengths. As I say, the winner hooked off heels and came down the outside. Even though it was a result for the captains, there were no figures. The opening favourite didn't have a price, but by the same token, neither did the winner. The second race, they said there was 103.3 on the screen, 98% only in the marketplace. These were the flux. Black Jag went from $4 or $3.50 out to $4.40 back into 4. Diamond Jim went from $6 out to $7.50. The next runner, Minkai, the favourite, we put it up at 10 to 9 chance. 10 to 9 the field. Was no takers at 10 to 9. It did get out to $2.70 or even 80. Started $2.50, hard to get. Trick Shot was $10 into $9.50. Missile, they bet 13, started 11, hard to get, or even 10. Alabama 15 out to 20, and to Dubai Way We Go was 31 into 26. Minkai, as I say, it was one of the runners that switched. It was a distance race, 2,000 metres. He sat in 4th position. He let the leaders sort of get away coming to the horizon for a few strides, or more than a few strides. If you're on this favourite, you were saying to yourself, gee whiz, I'm in a bit of froth and bubble here. But it was this rider Earl Grace I think he knew what he had underneath him. And when after they topped the rise, he switched back into, well, he had no alternative where he was placed. To go more or less back inside runners, and he finished far too strong for them, but winning by 1.3 lengths, beating the outsider of the field to Dubai Way We Go by 1.3, and the top weight Black Jag was beaten another head away in third place. They all had their chance in that race. The winner was the best run. Race 3, 103.3 in the screen, maybe one less in the marketplace, about 102. And the winner was backed. I'm talking about Empress Elect. It sat back. This was a 2,000 metre race, but it swooped and came down the outside. It led Diamonds in the Night. It wasn't as easy as leading down on the Acton track, where it's won its last 2 or 3 starts, Diamonds in the Night. And it stayed close to the fence, I suppose, in the straight. It ran out, finished up running 5th, beaten 9.5 lengths. But the first two past the post here, as it turned out, had a lap on the field. The winner, as I say, as much as, well, $12 was given about Emperor's Elect, opened up 10, got out to 12, back into $10, a little bit skinny, hard to get towards the finish of betting, sat back in third last position and came wide. It ran down, it got past number 2, Dana's Best, after topping the rise. Dana's Best sticking with it, and it looked like it was, it held it all the way down the straight, Empress Elect, but right on the line, as Mark Sheen said, Dana's Best was coming again, but the winning post has been in the same position at Randwick for a long time. The margin was 0.2, and it was 5.2 lengths away to the third horse, Accompany Me, an 80-to-1 chance. The second horse in this race, it would have been a great result for the captains because it was friendless in the betting. It went from $4.40 out to $8, a 7-to-2 chance out to a 7-to-1 chance. Dana's Best didn't have a price, and I think the captains were cheering for it, whereas the winner was well backed. There were other runners backed in this race. It was very well backed. Richie's Bickies, $3.50 out to $4, back into about $3.80. And who else was backed? Yes, of course, Giovanna Bella, who had barrier 1, sat directly behind the leader on the fence. He eased it down in the straight, Father Schofield, saying that it had a slight respiratory problem. The vet ran his hand over it, couldn't find anything wrong with it, and the trainer is going to look to the future plans with it. Maybe it might be going out of his stable because it went fairly ordinary. It came from New Zealand, where it won on a very heavy track last start. It was extremely well backed. We put up $5. It went off. It was back straight away into about $4.40 at one stage, back out to $5, but back into $4.60 towards the end of betting. But as I said, first and second had plenty on the others. Race 4, 101.7 on the screen, 97% only in the marketplace. And this was the race where the winner, and the only winner all day, to lead and stay close to the fence. But it was a mile race. Letchworth I'm talking about, who handles the going very well. I lost on this race. They took $10 and they took $9.50 off you for whatever you wanted. It started $9, but that extra half point is getting down to margins. What is happening in betting these days? They'll take $9. They won't take your $9, but they'll take your $9.50, which made me lose on this event. It was taken straight to the front by jovial Jeff Penzer. As I say, when he got the lead, he didn't use much petrol. He let it roll down the side, stay close to the fence all the way down the straight. After they topped the rise and halfway down the straight, he was 4 lengths clear. He finished up only winning by a half a length, coming from last, Shanian, in between runners and more or less along the fence, getting off heels, only beaten a half a length. And the 3-year-old Wine and Dine, who sat in 4th position, it plugged down the outside, beaten 2 lengths. It went very ordinarily. The favourite, Pleasurina, who we put up a 5-4 chance and got out to $2.80, back into $2.40. The flux in this race, Saintly Sun, you wouldn't see it, but $8 was given early, started 6.50, it was into 6 at one stage, got back out to 6.50. Letchworth, they bet 10, started 9. Cheyenne never had a price, and we bet 97%, $2.80 out to $5. The favourite Pleasurina, I told you, 280 at one stage, back into 240. Wine and Dine didn't have a price. If anyone wanted to back Wine and Dine, you just gave them the grumble and grunt of the ticket, and they filled it out themselves. It went from $4.20 out to $7.50, and it was $18 out to $19 access code. Led all the way, stayed close to the fence. What else do you say? Race 5, 103.9 on the screen, 102 in the marketplace in race 5, only a little bit less. And this race was won by Cangister, trained by the good trainer from Rose Hill. I just can't, I'm a blank at the moment, ridden by the brilliant Brendan Abdullah. Of course, Ryan trains it at Rose Hill. Cangister, it went, it jumped, it was up near the lead all the way, and it got through on it sat on the outside of Yingla, who was resuming today, stayed close to the fence, so it would finish up running last, beaten 6.5 lengths. Mightn't have been the place to be in the sprint race, Yingla, so its run, I suppose, can be overlooked. And Cangister was on its outside. It was a funny race after they'd gone a few furlongs, because all of a sudden bursting out in between runners was Randwick, who was number 2, who was extremely well back from opened up 21, got out to 31, back into $16. It burst up in between runners. Out sitting out 3 wide was Rastro, but then all of a sudden was 4 wide when Ryback pushed through the middle, and they came to the turn, and Cangister was able to get past Yingla easily, and then got a break after topping the rise of nearly 2 lengths, and just held on close to the line, coming from about third, or back second last on the fence was the second horse, Syncopated, weaving between runners, ridden by Huey Bowman, and only to fail by a nose margin, 0.1, and right, and there after sitting the rider, Nippy Nasrullah, explaining to the Stipes, I sat out there, he said, because I thought the ground was far superior than close to the fence, which looked to be the case, as we're saying, and it was only beaten 0.4 of a length, stuck on a lot better than I thought it would. Rastro, it was reached for by the captains. Rastro, we put it up to $2.80 favourite. It still started favourite at $3.50, but it was $2.80 up to $4, back into $3.50. The winner, also very well backed, Cangister, we only put it up a $4 chance. Second favourite, 3-1 bar it, we said. It got out to $5.50, but only started $4.80, hard to get. The second horse was back, Syncopated, after $10 given, only started 9. School of Turin, at one stage you could get whatever you wanted out of it at $5. It was into $4.60 after opening up $5.50, but got back out to start its opening quote at $5.50. School of Turin, it had every possible chance. It was on the back of looking at Rastro, and it held on very ordinarily. The winner, first up, no trial, but stuck on very well. The 6th race came along, and here they said there was 105.4 on the screen, 103 in the marketplace, a couple less. And who won this race? Fast and Sexy. Got a good run, Fast and Sexy, in about 5th position, one off the fence. And when they topped the rise, they got along in this race a bit. 2 Blue, who wanted to charge, did a very good job in sticking on and only being beaten 1 length. It led early in the race, Sweet Cinderella, who started the Avery. It started the $4.40 or $4.60, very hard to get. Excuse me, I'll just have a drink of this vodka and orange. Russian, of course. Now, forget the brand. The starting favourite in this race was Sweet Cinderella. After $8.50, even on the screen was given, it kept on firming all the way. There were 3 ways for it through the betting, and it finished up starting $4.60, fairly hard to get. It went straight to the lead, and then after they gone a few furlongs, coming down the side, Two Blue, who has got a bit of speed, it pulled the rider out of the saddle, and she let it stride, and it got to the lead, Two Blue, and got and stuck on very well, as I say. After getting to the lead, crossed over and was near the fence and was only beaten a length. By the same token, Fast and Sexy had a fairly good run, and when it sprinted, got past Two Blue very easily, but only beat it by the length. And coming down the outside from back in the field was Helvetica, beaten 2.3 lengths. It didn't hold on very well, Sweet Cinderella, after being up on the pace, and so the money that was, or the section that was bet on Sweet Cinderella finished up in the captain's bags. What was backed in this race? Well, they took 750 Classic L at one stage, but it started 7. The figures, we as I say, had 3%, but there were some runners in this race that were very hard to lay. Numbers 1 and 2 didn't have a price. Two Blue was $15 into 12, hard to get. Magnolia Lane lay at 21 at one stage. Alinea, they took for $8.50. Helvetica got out to $7 after opening up $4.60. Darcy Drama, they took $7, only started 6. Sweet Cinderella, I've told you. Fast and Sexy, the winner. They laid it well at $10, started 9. And Multi was hard to lay, 13 out to 18. And they took 41 Lola V, and they took 81 Magic Tails. And that was about the race. Maybe run that race again, you get a couple of different results. We came to the last. On the screen, they said there was 100.8 in the marketplace, 6 less, 94% only. These were the flux. Tableau went from $9 out to 17, back into 16. Field Marshal didn't have a price. Anyone who wanted to back it, you just let them fill. You gave them the ticket, let them fill it in themselves. It was $4, a 3-to-1 chance, out to $9, an 8-to-1 chance. Threes out to $4 out to $9. Friend, not a penny for it in the ring. Target in Sight, the second horse, who couldn't keep up coming to the turn, finished up running second. It was a 5-to-2 favourite, opening quote, out to $4.60, back into $3.80, or no, 70 even, hard to get. Calvin, there was money for it at $17. It started 16 after opening up that price. Phantom Willie, I had a bad result on this race. I didn't really like the winner. $6.50, you wouldn't see it. $7 given, back into start $5.50 Phantom Willie. Excuse me, very hard to get. God, that vodka's strong. Breakfast in Bed. I hope I've got another bottle there somewhere. Breakfast in Bed. It went from $4.60 out to $7, back into $5.50. Had every possible chance, although it was, no, it might have been it was 3 wide on a limb, but it finished up running third, beaten 2 lengths. Its run wasn't that bad. Angel B, $12 out to 15. Vendetta C, 40 out to 60. Astronomer, well backed, $9 early into $6.50, back to $7, but back into $6. And Pinocchio went from 31 out to 61. Now, it sat back in third last position, Phantom Willie, and when they topped the rise, after setting a good pace up in front, Calvin and Astronomer, after they topped the rise, you could see Nippy Nash on Phantom Willie looming up very quickly. And of course, it was fairly obvious after they topped the rise, it looked like it was going to win, because the favourite Target in Sight was tacking on to the field and not making up that much ground, although it, as I say, did run on very well, beaten 1.1 3/4 lengths, and Breakfast in Bed beaten 2 lengths, running third. But the winner, as we all saw when it got down to the line, Nippy Nash explained to the Stipes that it wanted to pull up on him, and it veered left, and he more or less it stopped in its tracks. The margin of 1.1 3/4 lengths, I suppose, if it races true to the winning post, could have been close to 4 lengths plus, maybe 5 lengths. I haven't had a close look at it yet. As it turned out, it did get into the right section of the track, but the way it took off, it suggested that it was it had something on the field. The winner didn't show much pace, as I say, and they say they're going to ride it a little bit closer next start. That was about the meeting. We've got Wyong on tomorrow, a couple of meetings on Friday, as I said earlier on, and then we're back to Rose Hill on Saturday. Good luck and go Queensland. Good evening.